Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, it didn't give us any lead time.
No, it just says recording in progress. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll have to get back to the name for our show much later.
I mean, we could pitch it right now. We could start working on it.
The problem is I have nothing to pitch. I told you the one that I had and you don't like it. So
I'm not, yeah, I mean, it's fine. Um,
how about two guys that don't have any business talking politics. That's that's what's happening here.
two dumbasses talk politics.
I like it. But no, okay, so if we're going to talk about anything tonight, this is the day that Biden dropped out, right?
Yeah, thank God.
Dude, so I've been hoping for him to drop out for literally since that debate. I've been like waiting for the moment. But when it happened today, like my initial reaction was fear. Like I was in because my biggest fear was that he would drop out and then we'd have a scramble to see like, 10 people now say they want to run for it. And we have to try to have a whole primary in the next 3 weeks before the convention. And then people are pissed at the convention. We're not united coming out of the convention. Like this was my nightmare. And in the past 12 hours since it happened, like he endorsed Kamala, and I was like, oh shit, is this gonna fly? And then everyone I've seen on the left has like rallied behind Kamala. Like at any minute, I'm thinking Taylor Swift and Beyonce are gonna be like there behind her. But
Probably.
like there's been no AOC, like the ones that you thought would be the ones to throw a fit, have all jumped in line like on the Kamala train. And I'm not a big Kamala fan at all, but I gotta say, like, I feel very relieved at the moment. Like, and I earlier in the day watching all the Republicans, like MAGA type people I know on Facebook were celebrating this, but now like into the evening, like people on Fox News are throwing a fucking hissy fit. Like they are not happy that Joe Biden has subverted the will of the people. Like there should have been a primary.
Oh,
They can't just hand pick who they're gonna put at the top. And like they look scared, and the more scared they look, like the calmer I'm feeling right now.
yeah.
And I love Kamala, but I think that if she picks a good enough VP, like there's four good ones that are all governors, three governors and Mark Kelly, the senator from Arizona. But like if she just doesn't, the thing we have to realize is the Democrats are fully capable of fucking this up right now.
Oh,
Like they could pick Gavin Newsom, for example, who's a smooth talker, but then we have the top of the ticket and the VP are both from California, the state that's easiest to run against.
right.
They haven't done it yet, but if she just picks a smart VP, like we're there. Like I feel a lot better. I'm not gonna say it's over, but I feel 1,000,000% better.
So I listened to some right-wing radio today when I was out riding my bike, and they are definitely scared, and they don't have a lot of talking points about Kamala Harris yet, but they're pitching them all around,
Yeah.
which is the reason I listen to it because I feel like right wing radio is where they pitch the crazy ideas and figure out which ones stick, and then it goes on to Fox News
People
and the
people are
whole
biting this one.
yeah.
Dude, real quick on right wing radio. When I was little, me and my sister used to go on like sales calls with my mom during the summer, and drive out to Dallas and shit, and she would listen to Rush Limbaugh. And like it's crazy because since the 90s, that dude would open like coming out of every commercial break, he would be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the radical liberal Democrats are trying to destroy America." And that was like how he opened out of every break. And it's kind of like there's times where I think like, man, I went to school with that guy. He's pretty smart. I can't believe he believes whatever it is. But then I think back to that and I'm like, oh, there's a form of brainwashing that's been happening for a long time. And it's also on the
Yeah.
left.
Oh
Like the
yeah.
left has got their own fucking, yes.
Rush is the
Both
godfather of it for sure.
yeah, I think Rush started that. Like up until like
Yeah.
the 90s when Rush became popular, that wasn't a thing. And then I think both sides do it now, but I credit Rush Limbaugh with like the shit show we're in right now. Like I pin back on him and that Franklin Graham, Jerry Falwell, whatever those televangelists that became
Yeah.
involved in politics. It's a combination of all that, and it's no good.
So did you see that Trump called Kamala crazy
Oh, of
with
course.
with her laugh?
Nasty. He's gonna call her nasty soon. She's a nasty woman. Like I feel
Oh,
that.
ooh.
Yeah, he calls all.
He's going with crazy right now, which is
Okay.
interesting.
Wait, I thought
Uh,
crazy was Nancy Pelosi.
but he said she's not as crazy as Nancy Pelosi, but I think he's gonna go crazy Kamala. I think this is where he's gonna go with
Crazy
it.
comma. He should do it, but do crazy with a K to make it, like crazy com.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Yeah.
Um, and then their other talking point that I heard was that so Kamala, she was the district attorney. Was that right? District attorney?
So she was, what was she? She was the attorney general for, she was a
Attorney general.
prosecutor. I think she
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
prosecutor for the state and then the attorney general for California.
Yeah, so their talking point now is like she locked up so many black men for smoking marijuana, and then when she was active, she ever smoked marijuana, she just laughed, and then they keep bringing up these different things where she does sound like drunk or stoned, and she's like talking, um, and they're like, yeah, she definitely smoked pot, and it's like, well, that's not really like everybody smoked pot before, so who
So
cares?
what pisses me off? Okay, go ahead.
But there was also this one instance where there was a child who they say was gunned down by an MS-16 guy,
MS-13.
MS-13 guy.
Yeah. Unless it
Um,
was a
and
16 that I don't
she
know about.
was, I don't know if she was the judge. I guess she was the district or the attorney's general during that. And the parents of this child were like, yeah, and the district attorney never called and said I was sorry. And at the same time, she said they're going to stick by their um, no death penalty, but he ended up getting life in prison without parole. So this is the only thing they have right now.
So real
There's
quick, I
nothing.
gotta say, it's comical to me because the right's just trying to find a reason for the to make the left dislike her. They're trying to find faults and point it out to the left. And their thing is like she was too tough on crime. When like that's the whole thing of the right is
Yeah,
like, law and order. So that's their beef with her is that she was locking up people for drug use, which anyhow. But on top of that, she's come out and said like she was the attorney general. Her job was to uphold and prosecute the laws. The law at the time was that marijuana was illegal. If you got caught with it, and especially if you were trafficking it, you got jail. As the attorney general, she doesn't get to pick the laws or which one she prosecutes. Like the governor will fire her if she tries to do that. She's got to follow. So getting mad at her for doing her job is kind of bullshit, in my opinion. But
yeah,
it's like you're saying, if that's what they have, is like they're mad because she's too tough on
yeah,
crime. I'm
yeah,
sorry, Republicans, that bothers you. Like, cool.
yeah. And life without parole as opposed to the death penalty, like,
When California doesn't kill people for killing people. That's their
yeah,
stance. They don't have
yeah,
the death penalty. So I don't, I guess the mom is probably upset that her kid got killed or whatever. I get it. But like, I think she was hoping they'd bring back the death penalty for this one instance for her. Like they
totally.
don't do that. They don't kill, certain states kill people for killing people, and California is not one of those.
Yeah.
Texas kills mentally handicapped people for killing people. They're special.
Hmm.
They fully, they go all in.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing that they mentioned was Josh Shapiro was the Democrats' best option as because if they win Pennsylvania, they win the election. Whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the election. So Josh Shapiro is probably their number one candidate. But the fact that they're mentioning that means that it's probably not their best candidate. That the right
So
wing's
there's
mentioning it.
There's three that Josh Shapiro is one of three that I think are the obvious choices. Josh Shapiro, Andy Brashard from Kentucky. Everybody
Okay.
seems to like him. And then the guy from North Carolina. I can't remember his name right now, but he's the governor there as well. And all three of them are Democrat governors in red states. So they're having to work with a red, conservative House, and Senate in the state. So they've got experience working across the aisle, and they're very centered people. And if she gets any one of those three, then that makes it a lot easier for her to get Pennsylvania, Ohio. She's probably not going to get, but she doesn't need it. But Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin, the blue wall, I think they call it. Like she's got to get all of those but Ohio. If she holds that, then she doesn't need Georgia or Arizona, I believe. But she's got to win all the states she's supposed to win. But without that blue wall, like that's what Trump won from Hillary in 16, because he, the white working class voters that were forgotten. So Trump took that blue wall and flipped it, and then Biden flipped it back. You got to hold that. So if she gets one of those three governors, those people will like, especially the guy from Pennsylvania is fantastic, Shapiro, but any one of those three will work. The other candidate that she's looking at, supposedly, she hasn't said this, but from all reports, is Mark Kelly, who's from Arizona. And Biden won
Hmm.
Arizona, but like we don't need to win Arizona. Like there's no, why are we fucking with Arizona? Let the red have that. You don't need that. But
Okay.
he's a former astronaut. I believe he was in the Air Force before being an astronaut. And his wife is Gabby Giffords, she was a senator who got shot in the head giving a rally in a parking lot like I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that.
Oh
And she
shit.
lived. she lived, and I think she still has like some motor skill issues, but
Hmm.
pretty good recovery overall. So he's former military, former astronaut, all around good guy, and his wife's the victim of like domestic violence with guns. So
Shit.
he checks a lot of boxes, and if he could get military support, awesome. I don't think anybody can. I think military is voting red. But so I don't dislike him. I just think the three governors from North Carolina, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania are clearly the best options. But supposedly Mark Kelly's the front runner, the astronaut. So
Hmm.
I'll take any one of those four. But I think the other three are a better option than Mark Kelly, unless I'm missing something, which I very well might be.
I feel like I heard Mark Kelly say something crazy at one point. Was he on Rogan?
I don't think so. Uh, Mark Kelly Rogan? Question mark? No.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, shit. I'm just glad Biden's out. This is
I think I think this was an awesome move by Biden, and I don't have a problem with Biden, and I think Biden had a pretty good 4 years when you just look at what he did. Towards the end, was he clearly old and having, yeah, he was. Like there was
yeah,
that debate put it all into light. But if you just look at what got passed under his watch, I'm very okay with the job he did. He got some good shit. He got infrastructure done, like that needed to happen. Trump tried once a month for 4 years. Trump had an infrastructure week, and it never got through. And Biden came right in and did it.
yeah, I've been calling
Yeah,
for Biden to drop out for a while now.
yeah, and it looks like he's criticized Biden in the past, which I have no. I That's what kills me about Trump and the whole like if you say anything bad about Trump, you're not a real Republican. Like I think that's horseshit. Like I like it when someone will criticize someone else on their side, especially the president. I don't care who it is, but that's part of living in America.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I mean,
don't speak bad of or don't speak ill of the leader type shit. That's North Korea and Russia. Like
absolutely.
that bothers me about the Republicans.
Yeah, yep, yep.
So
Talk shit where it's needed. I mean, that's how things get done.
So I was a Republican my whole life, and then I started talking shit about Trump, and a lot of people were like, "You're not a Republican, man. You're if you don't like Trump." And finally, I was just like, "All right, I'm not a Republican. A deal. I accept your offer. I'm an independent. Fuck that guy. I don't like Trump." And
Yeah.
this is something you'll still go back and forth with me on, but I would have voted for Nikki Haley in a heartbeat this election. Like if you give me a good Republican, I'll vote for them. And I know you think that makes me fucking MAGA, but
You would have voted for Nikki Haley over Biden?
yeah, I think if the choices were Nikki Haley, Trump, and Biden, I would have taken Nikki Haley there simply because I think Biden's too old.
What policies of, because it's not the person really, it's the whole administration, right? So let's go through the
Yeah.
policies of Nikki Haley that you agreed with over Biden's policies.
Overall,
Or
I
you're
agree
just
with.
stuck in being a Republican because that's what you were
I'm not.
born into.
I like someone who's fiscally conservative and socially liberal. Nikki Haley wouldn't go after abortion or weed or shit like that. But what she would do is go. I want to believe that she would go after the national debt.
You
Every
think she's
Republican.
socially liberal though?
So she's not socially liberal, but
Yeah,
she's where the middle of America is. She's kind of where a lot of people are. She's not
I don't
far
think so.
left. Well, we can disagree on that.
Yeah.
But my big thing is the debt, our annual budget, and the fact that we spend more than we take in every year. And Trump added more to the debt than almost anyone else. It's very bothersome to me that Republicans don't see that. But overall, I want to curb spending, and Democrats aren't really consider like their whole thing is don't worry, we'll deal with it later, and they just want to spend now, and I'm not a fan of that. That's my main thing when it comes to why I would vote for Republican.
Well, we have to spend on some things, right?
We have to, and this is where you love Bernie, but like Bernie has a point. Like if you do those one penny tax on every Wall Street type, trade, I
Trade.
don't know,
Every
shit about
trade.
Wall Street.
Every trade.
Yeah.
There's like it's like a quarter of a cent on every trade that goes through Wall Street, which means that Wall Street actually becomes more fair because the um a lot of these companies are using machines and AI to like trade stocks and
So they're not even doing any work.
they're doing like thousands or millions of transactions in an hour, And so that's
So
where it
yeah.
comes in. So then they'll have to kind of slow that down, which may not even pay for everything. But
Well,
like
I'm not a Bernie fan, but what was his thing? If we did one penny on every stock trade we could pay for, and it was something
a quarter of
ridiculous.
a penny on every stock trade you could pay for healthcare.
That's yeah, I'm 100% down. That is a very socialist view, but like I've told you this before, like I love it when people are like, that's socialism, you can't do that. And it's like, where do we draw the line? Because we all agreed that like schools, libraries, fire, police, like socialism's in our current economy to a
Yeah.
degree. Like K through 12 can be socialism, but if you dare mention that like college should be free, like that's fucking crossing a line. That's
Yeah.
Soviet Union shit. Like you don't love America. And it's like, well, what makes the last 4 years different? I don't get that.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not a Bernie fan, but the whole healthcare thing, like the fact that every other developed nation, every Western developed nation has figured out how to do free healthcare and we can't, like it's just not
Yeah.
cool.
And education. You agree with him on education too? You think we should do?
I do. So I think there should be a system where like to go to a state school or whatever, it's damn near free. But
Yeah.
then there still are the Harvards and the places like that where if you want your kid to go there, you got to pay out the
Sure.
ass.
Sure.
You know,
Most of the developed healthcare systems are that's the same thing. There's privatized and there's public and there's privatized.
yeah.
So
So yeah.
yeah. And then what was his other one? Healthcare, education, and I
Who are we
think,
talking about?
huh?
Who are you talking about?
Bernie.
Bernie. Well,
So
Bernie.
I think you love Bernie. I think you're a Bernie fan.
So the thing that I don't like about Bernie is Bernie needs to be realistic because I like a lot of what he says, but there's no way he can get it passed through the Senate and the House. And he can't do all the things he's talking about, the president can't just do through executive order. So all the things he runs on are things that aren't going to happen. He should aim smaller and try to like promise some shit that he could really get done.
But let's think about it this way. You and I both agree that healthcare and education are two of the most important things that we could have as a country.
And guns. I'm joking. Sorry, yeah. Healthcare and
Healthcare and
education.
education are two of the most important things, and that it's probably doable. There's probably some form of taxation that could make that absolutely work. And
Tax and stock trades. I like Bernie's idea.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, or billionaires or whatever. There's a number of ways we could get taxes without hurting the poor class and the middle class, right?
Yeah.
Um, and you agree with that taxing them is fine to get these things that we should probably have already. So you might be a socialist, Andy?
Like I said, we've agreed that socialism's okay in certain areas of our nation, and like we have it. It's all around us, and people that fucking freak out about it, I think, are stupid. Now, that being said, the things that Bernie wants to do ain't gonna have like you got to get him through Congress and the House and the Senate, and he can't do it. We're too far. We're maybe down the road we could, but
Right.
he over promises shit that if he became president, it would be like a Trump presidency. Nothing would get passed through Congress in 4 years, and he would sign a lot of executive orders that don't mean shit. That's what a Bernie Sanders presidency would be.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what I got real quick. Props to Biden. He got some shit passed through that was good
Yeah.
for America. And a lot of it was not sexy. It was not, it was any headlines. It was just good bills that needed to get passed. And Republicans and Democrats came together and did it. That
So
hasn't happened.
if both of us agree that these are good, this would be a good policy, like, isn't there a way to prove that it actually these are good things? Healthcare and education, two of the most important things to have a healthy society.
There's
Healthcare and education, right? So
there's no
then
argument
if
on.
we agree on that, me and you can agree on that,
Yeah.
shouldn't like most of Congress kind of like realize this? And if there's a way to do it without really hurting things, then what's holding us back? I guess this is my question. What's holding
So,
us back on actually getting what we should have in this
okay,
country?
two-part answer. What's holding us back is that there are a lot of senators and congressmen who answer directly to their billionaire donors, and
Mhm.
not just on the right, on the left and right. They're all beholden to their donors, and their donors are fucking wink nod like you're not passing anything that's going to raise my taxes. So that's what's holding us back. Okay, to
Right. And this
back
is
up to
why Bernie
oh,
Sanders is
that's right.
the best politician we have is because he doesn't fuck around with those people.
Yeah,
He's
he would need all of them to pass the bill. But hold on, I said I had a two-part answer. Okay, backing up a second, you were talking about healthcare and why, but you didn't say this, but what's the argument against it? Did you see the Shane Gillis skit that I sent you recently, or it was on his podcast where he was talking about it? You didn't see that? You don't watch the videos I send you.
I did see. Yeah,
Anyhow,
I think I saw it.
it's classic because he's just like he's like, yeah, that's our only answer is like, man, healthcare is gay. Like, oh, you wouldn't fucking healthcare? You think I'm gay? And it's like there's no good talking point against it. Like,
Yeah,
we've just decided that as America, like, we're not going to do a bunch of wimp ass shit like have free healthcare. That's for weaklings. We're not doing that, and it makes no sense.
it makes zero sense.
Yeah, let's just have crippling medical debt our whole life and deal with that because we're Americans and fuck that free healthcare shit. Like, that's
Oh,
where
that's
we're
the one
at.
where he was like, yeah, and I talked to my dad the other day, and he was like,
Yep.
what countries have free healthcare? And he's like, Canada?
Yeah. France. It's
Name
like, oh,
one.
fucking France. Like,
Yeah.
it's what we're dealing with, though. Like, there's no good argument against it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
There's no good argument against it. So then if we continue to push the fact that there's no good argument against it, can't we eventually get it pushed through?
like I said. I think that not having some kind of universal health care is ridiculous. That us as we're like the richest nation in the world. We have the highest GDP, like, and we don't have health care for everyone. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Every other Western country has it. We've just decided against it. I'm on your side on that. That's my one item where I can jump far left and be with you is healthcare.
So do we have any politicians who are against politicians taking bribes? Is it
So
Matt Gates is like the only one, right?
So Matt Gates is doing whatever he can to not get kicked out of Congress for fucking a 17-year-old. Like that's that whole, have you seen the whole thing with him and Kevin McCarthy where they're talking shit about each other?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to watch because Kevin McCarthy, now that he's out of Congress, like isn't holding back and he's like, oh well, Matt Gates hates me because he's gonna get kicked out of Congress for having sex with a seven or paying a 17-year-old for sex. And he's just
Yeah.
saying that shit on CNN and Fox. So good for him. I hate Matt Gates. Did you see the pictures of Matt Gates at the State of the Union where it looks like he had like all kinds of injections and shit?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, I have no my sister said that was some kind of thing that like I guess pulls the skin like some kind of can't remember what she called it, strings or something that like pull and stretch the skin, but it's not like a
Facelift?
no, it's not surgical and it's not an injection, but it's like some like it's almost like sitting in the makeup chair for 60 minutes while they use tape and shit to pull your skin tight.
How old is Matt Gates?
I don't think he's very old. He's 40 at the most. Hold on.
Matt Gates. Holy shit. Um, yeah, I feel like we should
42.
pass a law where no member of Congress can wear makeup.
Yeah, or
No
fucking
plastic surgery, no makeup. You have to come as you are.
or they have to, if they're going to do that, hear me out. If they're going to do that, they have to introduce themselves every time they speak and let us know their pronouns because they've got makeup on. So it could be anything. So let's just clear things up here, okay?
That's true. That's true.
And that's my favorite.
And how much they spent on makeup today.
Yeah, how long did you spend in hair and makeup before you got on Fox News for your quick hit? Like
Yeah,
that's what's ridiculous.
I spent 20 minutes in hair and makeup. Yeah,
Like,
well,
yo,
I'm
I
wondering
even,
like because even when they go speak on the House floor, like they are wearing makeup. The
not
guys
all of them,
too.
but there's the ones that do to me, it's quite obvious. And like there's
Ted
like
Cruz.
I try really hard not to like make fun of a dude for being feminine because like I'm trying to be cool with
Yeah.
shit. But like when I see that, I'm like, are we not gonna make fun of this dude? He's got eyeliner on. Like he's got eyeliner on to speak at the Senate floor.
I mean, that's fine.
Uh,
That's fine. But if you're gonna do that, then you can't go after trans people. That should be the rule.
like
If
100%.
you're gonna
Yeah.
wear makeup on the House floor, you can't go after trans.
Yeah.
Like you're a friend of the trans.
This is males only. For some reason, there's a double standard though. Women can wear makeup, but if
Yeah,
men are
women
doing
can wear makeup. It's
yeah.
perfectly fine.
You fucking double standard sexist piece of shit. I can't believe you have all these double standards.
I don't care if men wear makeup, but I want them to acknowledge that they wear makeup.
Yeah, that's like I said, they should just have to start by saying I spent 30 minutes in the makeup chair.
Yeah.
This is Maybelline or whatever. I don't know makeup brands, but
And you can't go after drag queen happy hour. If you go after drag queen happy hour,
yeah.
then we have to ask you how much makeup you're wearing today.
Oh, God, I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan. So,
Okay.
all right. So anything else before we end this one with Biden's out? We jumped around for the last 20 minutes on a lot of different shit.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll say this. it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to see any real polling on what Kamala looks like, and I don't know if she's going to announce. She's got to announce her VP before the convention. And real quick, back to Kamala. She came out today and she said, "Hey, I appreciate the endorsement. I can't wait to work hard to win the nomination." So she's not at all trying to claim this is mine. She knows. I think that there's been a wink nod agreed upon, like they're going to have a little dog and pony show primary real quick, and she's going to win overwhelmingly. It's not really going to be a contest, but they're going to go through all the steps to show that she won it and it wasn't handed to her. But let's hurry up and do that shit. We know that's inevitable with all the
Yeah.
endorsements. And she's raised the last time I looked, it was like $60 million in the last like 12 hours, like her
Oh
little
shit.
pack. So and it's I guess it's the second highest day ever for Democrats, like in a
Oh.
single day. So
And
donors a ton.
Biden has like 90 million as war chest, so and that can easily transfer to Harris. But if it's another candidate, they have to like go through
So
red tape or something.
I'm not clear on all this because I thought I knew it, and I thought because she was on the ticket, she can use that money, but anybody else that would have won it couldn't use that money. But I saw something earlier that was saying that that money now all goes to the DNC to use how they see fit.
Hmm.
And at first I was like, oh shit, that's not what I thought I knew. But it turned out the person that I was watching is Kennedy's vice president. I can't remember her name. I've never seen her before in my life. But she's the one running with him. And she was basically pointing out that this is fraud, and they basically stole this money from Democratic donors that thought it was going to Biden, and now it's going to the DNC, and it's probably going to
Uh,
end up in somebody's pockets, blah blah. So I don't know if there's any accuracy to it, but then afterward, when I realized who it was, I was like, I'm less likely to believe that. But now I do want to do some tomorrow digging and see like what happens to the money that was donated to Biden in this case. Like if it goes to Harris, because if you donated to Biden, you were donating to Biden slash Harris. Like that was their pact. So if he drops out, it's Harris. I'm okay with that money being used there. But if the money goes now just to anywhere else, I think it should either go to Harris or it should be refunded to everybody that donated it, like one or the other. I don't think it should go anywhere else. But
okay.
I don't, like I said, I don't know the rules. I thought I did, but this lady running with Kennedy, she is
Wait,
probably
Kennedy's still in the race?
he is, dude, and he gave a speech today responding to all this, and he at one point referred to Trump as Biden, like he confused their names.
Oh,
Yeah, he I look at him and I'm like, the people that I know that really like him are like, yeah, he's the sane one. Like, he's the one with a working brain. And every time I hear him talk to me, I'm like, this guy's speaking cuckoo shit. But
it's the brainworms, man. The brainworms.
yeah, you look at those three candidates and I'm like, to me, there's not much difference. They're all three saying crazy shit at times. Like, Biden was the one saying the most normal shit up until recently. And now I'm concerned to let Biden speak on TV, like live, period.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's out. But now you're left. Like I said, I don't like Kamala, but when you look at the three, and I don't even know why I'm saying the three because RFK is not really, a contender here. But if you look at the three of them together, it's like, isn't this obvious? Like that girl there seems to be making a lot of sense, like, or at
Yeah.
least she seems normal. But who knows?
Well, I think the
That's
problem is I think Kamala is too establishment. People are ready to get out of the establishment bullshit that we have. I think that's the main issue with the United States. That's why Trump got elected. It's because
But
he
Trump
wasn't
is now
established.
establishment. Trump's been the head of the RNC pretty much for the past 8 years, 9 years. Where are we at here? Since like 2015, like 9 years.
Yeah, but
He's been
he's
during
created
that
his
part.
own sector of the establishment at this point.
So
He's
he's taken over. If he had his own sector, and now his sector has swallowed the GOP, and
Yeah,
there's nothing left but the MAGA. Like you can't be in the GOP and not be MAGA, which is bothersome.
it's very bothersome.
Yeah.
That's why
So,
he has to lose so that that whole MAGA world just disappears.
but real quick, something we've talked about before, but like Republicans are like, I don't want the elites in charge. And like Donald Trump's their candidate that has a fucking gold toilet and this and he's a multi-billionaire. Like, and they don't like elites, but they like Donald Trump. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. And then also fucking what were we just talking about? What did you say just before this? Hold on, I was going somewhere with this.
Um,
No help.
yeah, I've lost. Sorry, the running out of time
Good.
box popped up, so
Do we need to end it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll talk soon. Oh, we got 10 minutes. We got 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's see at the top.
Oh no. Okay, you had me worried there.
It's trying to
Yeah,
make
I
me
don't know.
buy something. That's what it wants to do.
You getting pop-ups?
It says running out of time. Experience unlimited meetings. AI companion.
Oh, that's
Clips. Oh, clips. So that would be you can edit it in here. Workplace Zoom Pro. Okay.
yeah. I'll have to check out how much that costs. We need some more equipment, so
I can check it out right now. Let's see.
yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, so we were talking about
I was going.
Kennedy and
Nah,
his
somewhere good with Trump, and I lost all train.
yeah, we lost that one.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit, $135.
A month or what? Is that per month?
Hmm, annually. It's
Oh, that's not terrible.
yeah.
Zoom Pro.
Zoom Workplace Pro, yeah. But anyway, yeah, man. Let's uh let's end this. We'll pick back up. I'm sure
All
more
right, man.
shit will happen tomorrow.
Let's kind of watch. And I'm predicting right now that all the Democrats are going to jump in line behind Kamala, and this is going to be a smooth fucking transition with nobody feeling left out or butthurt. And let's see in a couple days if I'm wrong or right, because that's what I'm feeling right now. Like there's a whole we're all on the same team to beat Trump, but this shit could turn south in a second. So that's what I'm looking forward to over the next couple days.
Yeah, yeah. And Trump just keeps getting crazier and crazier, it seems. So
He's whining a lot tonight. He wants the Democrats to pay him back because of all the money he spent on ads against Joe Biden. He thinks that they should have to refund him for that because as he says, they knew all along that he wasn't really going to be the nominee, and they tricked him into spending all this money against Biden. So
oh, that's
it,
an interesting
for,
move.
for how much of a manly man he is, like an alpha male, like that dude whines more than any man I've ever known in my life.
All day,
And
every day.
it's at a point where when I read his like truth social message, his truths, oh, that's my favorite part. But
Yeah.
when I read those, I read it in a whiny tone because that's how I feel like he's saying it. And he might not be, but I read everything he says in a whiny tone. So
Well, you'll have to read some to me next time. He's also terrified of sharks. Like he is.
terrified of sharks, he eats well done steaks. That's again, that
Oh,
should have been the sign where
oh
we
yeah.
all knew that this man should be president. Is when we learned that he likes his steak well done, and he often sends his steak back for not being well done enough and has them
Mm.
cook it more. That's a psycho. That's not the kind of person you want to be an influence on your children.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
that's a
strong.
good way to get your steak spit on too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you know the chefs are fucking with his food.
Well, yeah. Well, the chefs always, if you order well done, they always grab the steaks in the back of the freezer that have been sitting there for months and
The
months
worst
and months.
ones. Yeah, you get rid of your worst cut of meat. Well
Yeah.
done. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Worst
Oh,
cut, burn it. They don't care.
we should have known. So, all right. Talk to you soon. Let's work on a name. And yeah, other than that, have a good night, sir.
All right, brother. Later.
Later.